What's up, y'all? So, obviously, we did Doping Up on Reacher. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. It would make no sense to come watch this if you haven't. So, we both finished season 1 of Reacher. Since you are the one that's blazing through all the seasons, you start off.
For whatever reason, that show, I just really liked it from like the episode that we saw. Man, I really enjoyed it. Like, I think I did the Dope or Nope on like Tuesday, and then like Wednesday evening, I was like, yeah, I'm done with season 1. I just like breezed right through it.
And I was like, okay, I gotta hurry up and catch up and finish, which I did. And then by that point, she's like, I'm on season 2. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm already on season 3. I think I just finished episode 1. But it's good though. It's good. I like that each season you don't necessarily have to see the prior season.
Yeah, because it's like standalone stuff. And it's like a new cast of characters too.
Right, exactly. I did like in season 2 there being like, an appearance from certain people in season 1. I like Reacher character. I like virtuous psychopaths as characters. I find them to be dynamic and intriguing. A good character is written in a way that you shouldn't be on their side, but you can't help but be on their side. A Reacher is one of those characters where he goes, I'm just gonna have to kill these people. You're like, yeah, he's gonna have to kill these people.
He's like a less wrathful Punisher. I did like how it was basically he just happens upon this town and then runs into like a counterfeiting organization. What I thought was gonna happen, I thought it was gonna end up being some serial killer shit. And it turned out to be on some gangster shit, really.
The way that his and Finley's like relationship started to grow, and even to the extent that Finley learned that Finley's straight edge in a lot of ways.
Super straight. He doesn't even curse.
He kinda had to learn how to be a little bit less like that to get shit done. If we look at the way things are going now in the world, sometimes you got to break some rules because other people are willing to break the rules to your detriment. So I like the fact that that kind of rubbed off on Finley, where he's like, you know what, I gotta roll my sleeves up, I gotta get a little dirty. Also opened up to, who he was, why he was there. At one point, Reacher assumed that Finley was divorced. Something to find out later on in the season that Finley's wife actually passed away. And so the reason why he went to this small podunk town in the middle of nowhere as a black guy was because he wanted to get away from all the things that reminded him of his wife back in Boston. And at the end of it, decided to go back. Like, it could get dangerous for him.
Roscoe, too. She was cool. Tough chick, handle herself. But you got to be that type of woman messing around with Reacher. Like, Reacher ain't going to be messing with no damsels in distress. You got to be on his... You got to at least come up somewhat to his level if you're going to be messing around with him.
Yeah, because look at the second season. Look,
talking about the dark-haired woman, right?
Yeah.
He does play as a virtuous psycho, but he's not really, because like if you fuck with the people he likes, he coming at you. Like when they wrote horror on her car, remember? And he saw that he didn't even get out the car. Like he got like halfway out back in the car. Then he slapped the dog shit out of that really ugly, scary looking psychopath son.
He is scary looking.
And they commenced to kicking the asses of the other two.
The fact that there's like no challenge that he's like gonna back down from. I like his relationship with Roscoe. There's a part of me that's like, why would you even get involved with someone that you know is a roamer? That they're not gonna stick around.
She wanted a piece of that beef since she saw that motherfucker. Gave him coffee, and then they was driving like, you want to get dinner? She was shooting her shots.
See the options that were available to her. So
you see some giant model-esque handsome giant walking in the door, like, him or psychopath boy, which one?
I think it was also like super interesting that dude ended up like offing his dad, wanting to take out everybody. It was a counterfeit operation that was basically a family in the town is the one that was running it essentially. And so they were picking people off. They were picking off all the loose ends. In the first episode, he finds out that his brother was the first one that they found.
Was one of the victims, yeah. Because he worked for the Treasury. He was on the case.
The Homeland Security, yeah. Guy that he was in jail with that confessed, but that they knew, all right, this guy didn't do what he's saying he did. He was also being blackmailed because he got roped into this thing. He was an accountant.
The way they did him was wild disrespectful. They had him come in there, do the books for him, and be like, hey man, we're running a counterfeit thing, and you just helped us, so you gonna go to jail too if they find out about it. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like, damn, that's cold.
Because you have to sign his name on everything. when you're an accountant. They don't give a damn if even if you went to tell the IRS that story, they wouldn't care. Like, you should have been paying attention when you was doing your work.
So he ended up having to flee, but he left his wife and kids.
He's a coward. What do you expect? He was almost Reacher's bitch in jail just not to get beat up. So
I'd have divorced him. Like, are you kidding me? When Finley is sitting there with Picard, which was with Finley's friend that they had watching, like an off the record witness protection, they had him watching the wife and the kids, and then he ended up leaving because he said, I'm gonna lose my job if I stay here too long. So Roscoe took over. Come to find out, he had been working with the people, the organization the entire time. Yeah, that was a good twist. When Picard and Reacher's at the diner, because they told him, find this guy, or like you said, Roscoe's gonna get killed, and also the wife and kids. So they end up going to that same goddamn diner that he could not get a peach pie from. And he's going over the map. And did you see when he gets the coffee, he tips the coffee over. It falls on Picard, and Picard is preoccupied with that. He grabs a knife and the fork, and then when they go outside, he stabs the tires.
yeah, that man's smooth, bro. He's smooth.
He is so fucking smooth with it, man, and he thinks like 10 steps ahead all the time. I think that's what I like about him too. Like, he's always stoic, and I just like that type of shit.
Those are the people you gotta be scared of, not the one running their mouth, that real quiet guy over there, you know. The cool thing was that it came to, you know, obviously a crescendo when they were in that like factory where they were like loading all the stuff. Then it just had like your typical American action scene where everybody was getting shot at and stuff, where nobody's reloading their guns and everybody has 100 shots. And the funny thing was when you see the factory blow up and then just they're like, Reacher, or he's Reacher, he'll be okay. And then he just like steps out like Superman. It was hilarious.
It is extra, but I can appreciate it.
He's a larger than life character, so what do you expect? Now I'm gonna take a moment to talk about a couple negatives. Not big, but it's just something that stood out. So they would take old $1 bills and soak them, and they were talking about how it's made out of paper. Dollar bills, American dollar bills are not made out of paper. Made out of a cloth. And I'm not sure, I know that they can fade over time, but I mean, how much money has been washed over? I don't care if you soaked it for, you know, a decade. Not a decade, a year. I don't think it would just lose the ink like that, you know? But I did like that what they did was they would print it on, they would make old hundreds and then send that to South America. Now here's a problem with that. And as a person that's been to Peru, when you go to Peru and you give them American money, those dollar bills gotta be crisp. They can't be torn, they can't be creased. They'll take it if it's folded, but like if say one of the edges have torn off, they won't take it. They'll give it back to you. Maybe because they don't want to have counterfeited money. So when I saw that, like how they were like drying it and try to crumple it and make it look like money, I'm like, maybe the country those gangsters that they was working with will take it. But like I was like, don't take that to Peru. You ain't gonna spend none of that money there. Now this is something. Okay, so his brother who works for the Treasury, is his brother working undercover?
Yeah, he worked for Homeland.
So he was undercover. Okay, so I'll give you that. He was undercover that kills him. Then you had Environmental Protection Agency. That guy died. That's 2 federal agents. Then the girl that was his handler comes and dies. I'm sorry, they're sending the FBI that way. Somebody's gonna come look at and granted, like I said, I get it. He was undercover, but then she flies out. Somebody's gonna be like, where are these people eventually? Like, I get that the undercover guy might disappear for a minute, but the handler disappears or dies? Come on. And then the guy from the EPA, was the guy from the EPA undercover too? You know, that's the only thing that kind of didn't make sense. Come on, when a local cop gets killed, the whole country is on the alert. You can't tell me 3 federal agents are disappearing in the same vicinity and nobody gets sent out there. That's wild.
Maybe they just go dark.
Those were like 2 things, the latter one being the most annoying one to me. But outside of that, great story. Everybody's chemistry worked for me in this thing. I think the one guy with the dark hair with the little fucking like the elephant ears, the little Martin ears, that was like the cousin to the rich kid. He kind of was trying a little too hard in my opinion. He's not really the nicest guy, and from energy is you take him more serious versus this character that he's playing a Reacher. He just look like a goofy henchman. And that brings up to one other thing. When Reacher was in that house and he ended up taking everybody out, which was dope because he was like, there's a game called Metal Gear Solid. He was Metal Gear Solid in them all. He was high, maybe pop up, grab a dude, just disappear with him in the woods, stab him up. He was fucking him up, but then it was great. But then the little goofy kid is beating him up with a crowbar. And once again, I know crowbars are heavy. They're very heavy. Like I said, I get it. Reacher's a big guy, but you know, like that, let's be honest though, when you fighting a big dude, that is an equalizer, a nice, strong, sturdy, heavy weapon. But I'm like, this is a guy that like he can take 5 dudes out fighting them at once. Like he can't beat this one small dude with a crowbar. But then he got what he deserved in the pool. But I guess he got to take a hit or two sometimes, right?
It was one of those moments where it was like, damn it, Reacher. But at the same time, yeah, like he has to take a hit or two. There's no way that he's going to be perfect and not take any damage at all. You know what I mean?
Did you have any like negative moments that you were like meh on, or?
No, in fact, the show is perfect, and I wouldn't change it at all. If I try to pick any negative moments, it will really just be me like nitpicking.
That's basically what I did with the money thing, and in that fight, really, you gotta admit I have a point about the federal agent thing.
No, I don't think you're wrong, but I wasn't I didn't catch anything that was like annoying to me.
I'm definitely giving it the dope stamp because obviously I'm watching season 2, and so far so good on that.
Yeah, I'm already on season 3. I like season 2. Can't wait till we go over that when you're done with it.
Good news, season 4 has already been approved. After I'm done with season 2, we'll do another one, tell you about that, give you the stamp. Reacher does well, like each episode, it starts and the way it ends, like shit, I want to watch the next episode. That's how I feel. But yeah, guys, so we're gonna, hey, once again, you know, if you're here, you're new, sub, you know, hit the like button, sub if you've gotten this far, and if you got any other like TV show recommendations that it'll hook us in the first episode, or you want to know our opinion, put it in the comments. All right, y'all, love you, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right, y'all.
Later.
Later.